Madam Speaker, on H.R. 3621, the Comprehensive Credit Act of 2020, credit scores and credit reports play a critical role in determining which of our constituents across America will be able to pay for college, rent an apartment, buy a car or a house, start a business, meet major unexpected expenses, or even increasingly to get a particular job. Most Americans do not have the wealth to pay out of pocket for major expenditures. So credit is essential, and credit scores and credit reports have become the key screening and sorting mechanism, the key gatekeeper that makes the difference for millions of Americans between having the money to pay for college or not, being able to buy a house or rent an apartment or not, and increasingly qualifying as an employee for a specific position or not, because so many employers are increasingly using credit scores and credit reports as part of the qualifying process for appointing and hiring new employees. But the system of credit scores and credit reports is deeply flawed today, and we've done nothing to reform it in 17 years. The Federal Trade Commission tells us that 1 in 5 Americans has an error on at least one of their credit reports, and 5% of the people have errors grave enough to result in their being denied credit or having to pay substantially more for their mortgages or their auto loans or to obtain insurance policies. The 3 big CRAs, consumer reporting agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, have files on more than 200 million American consumers, which means that there are errors in the credit reports of at least 40 million of our constituents and serious, potentially life-changing errors in the credit reports of 10 million Americans across the country. Correcting these errors often takes considerable time and procedural effort, as well as knowledge on how to communicate with the credit reporting companies. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, determined that in 2018, credit reports were the single most complained about financial product in our country. And the 3 big CRAs were the most complained about financial companies in America. Many vulnerable populations, like seniors, stressed and busy working-class Americans, and less financially literate young Americans, describe immense frustration in trying to solve problems with credit scoring and reporting companies. Even beyond the errors and mistakes, the credit system takes advantage of the financially insecure and precarious, converting transitory lapses of poverty into a lifetime of financial stigma and hardship. It is very expensive to be poor in America. And consumers lack the right to a free annual credit score. Many consumers who try to get a free annual credit report or to obtain their scores get tricked into purchasing high-priced credit monitoring or subscription services. Madam Speaker, H.R. 3621, the Comprehensive Credit Act of 2020, comprehensively addresses these abuses and combines 6 bills carefully constructed by our colleagues on the Financial Services Committee to improve transparency, fairness, and accuracy in America's credit reporting system. It reforms and upgrades the process for consumers seeking to resolve errors in their credit reports, and it seeks to ensure that consumer financial information held by the CRAs will be accurate, complete, and verifiable. This bill will prohibit reporting a consumer's debt relating to medically necessary procedures and delay reporting by 1 year for other forms of medical debt, remove adverse credit file information relating to defaulted or delinquent private education loans for borrowers who demonstrate a history of essentially timely and faithful loan repayments for these loans, permit reasonable interruptions in the consecutive repayment periods for student borrowers facing unique and extenuating life events, prohibit most current and prospective employers from using credit reports to make employment decisions unless required by a local, state, or federal law or government, shorten the time period adverse credit information stays on consumer reports from 7 years to 4 years and from 10 to 7 years for bankruptcy information, give consumers a new right to appeal the results of disputes with the CRAs, and improve the oversight capabilities of the CFPB on credit reporting agencies and their scoring modules, and require these agencies to better train their personnel on addressing consumer concerns. It's been more than 15 years since we enacted comprehensive reform of the credit reporting system. The House can be proud of the significant progress this credit reform package will bring to hardworking people across America, for whom credit and credit reports are the lifeline to education, housing, and in many cases, good employment and financial stability.